You know, and I mean, the term slave comes from Slavic people, white people that were enslaved.
Yeah, there's
It's a whole thing. Like, if you really start looking into shit, you're like, man, this goes real fucking deep, dude.
yeah, a shit ton of Irish slaves.
Irish slaves, yeah.
But I think that the race problem is primarily an American problem because we are such a mixing pot. We had
Yeah.
our Civil War, and the country was founded on the backs of slaves. Like, you can't get around that. But we're hundreds of years in the future. It's a different situation. And
Now we're all just slaves.
yeah, now we're all just slaves to
To
capitalism.
fucking, to the dollar and buying houses and food.
Yeah, but like even in Ireland and in a lot of other countries, it's a religious disparity, right?
Yeah.
You have Catholics and Protestants in Ireland, but they're still fucking at war. Like, you're both white, you both have fucking
Yeah.
orange beards. Get over it, right? You live on the same fucking island.
Your beard's orange, mine's red.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of room. Why are you fucking up all your farms with
Yeah.
explosives? But it's happening in the Philippines. It's happening in Myanmar. It happens in Egypt. It happens across Africa.
It's happened for hundreds of thousands of years. Like, you know, Mongolia, fucking, they built the wall in China
Yeah,
to keep the Mongolians from raiding.
yeah.
The Vikings raided everyone.
Equal opportunity raiders.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck who you were. The Moors were black people that invaded Jerusalem
Yeah.
and started fucking breeding all their women and like breeding them out and like took over the whole area basically, you know?
Yeah, history is rife with these instances, but in modern day, it's usually just a religious or a political schism.
Yeah.
But in America, it's still primarily a racist thing, and I don't know why we just can't fucking get over it. Like,
Because we
most
keep
everyone else
talking
has.
about it. That's like what Morgan Freeman said. If you call me a white man and I call you a black man, then it's still talking about race.
Correct.
We're just men.
Yep.
We're American men. You know,
We still keep manifesting
you
it.
still keep talking about it because politically, that's a bargaining chip.
Yeah.
You want to, you know, black people are emotional people, you know, because of all this stuff. It's not wrong, but they're easy to rile up. You know, you start throwing around racial slurs and you start talking about slavery and over and over and over and embedding it into their brain that they're oppressed. There's nobody's, well, not nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody's oppressed now, you know, but inherently nobody's oppressed like they were. We're just all oppressed now
Right.
by the government. And the government keeps saying they're going to give you this welfare and this free shit to keep you voting for them. That's part of the problem, you know. PC culture dumbs down everything and makes it where it's a bad thing to say this or that, which I'm not saying that it ain't, but
In like a full mixing pot. At the end of the day, like, we all have the same fucking struggles, right? We're all trying to get the same place.
we're all Americans.
Yeah, well, all, bleed red, white, and blue. And
Not even half that, but you're all in the same country. You see this a lot in like Russia and other countries, like, you know, the pride in their country, which, I mean, it's not that it's not an American thing, but like a lot of people are like, the American flag is racist. I'm like, it's your country's flag. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Or they'll like stand on it.
yeah,
You know, the only reason you're able to do that is because of the Constitution that protects your rights to do what you want. Like, go stand on the Russian flag. Watch what happens to you. Go stand on the Chinese flag in front of some military person. See what happens to you.
yeah. I couldn't tell you how many civil wars were fought with one of the main points. I'm not saying it was the point. You're probably going to be taught that in American schools, is that we fought the Civil War to end slavery. It's
It's
not the
what
case.
it was about money.
Yeah, it was not the case at all. But
It was just a tiny piece of it.
I wouldn't say tiny piece, but it was a pretty good point, and to be able to,
I mean, it was a selling point
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, but to be able to emancipate those people and change our entire way of life, I don't think a lot of other countries have done specifically that.
No.
You know what I mean? Not with that in mind.
Not at all.
That's only when they're pressured by other countries who advance out of slavery that they
Yeah,
have to get rid
dude,
of it.
like, I just found this out maybe last year. Now, we ended slavery in America in like the 1800s or something. I don't know the exact
Emancipation
date.
Proclamation.
Yeah, it was pretty early in the game, you know. In like Iraq-ish areas, Indian-ish areas,
Yeah.
Muslim areas, they didn't end it like legally until 1987. I was alive
Yeah.
in 1987.
Yeah.
Were you born in 87?
No, 91.
You were almost born. You were almost here, dude. That's not that long ago.
Yeah. Well, actually, slavery in its like true form, with people still being enslaved, not
It's
called that. It didn't end in America until like the 40s. It's
I mean, the
the widespread use and like
I mean, it didn't really, like, some people didn't even know that it had ended. If that's what you mean. But
no, they just changed the game. You know what I mean? It
well,
became like
we're still slaves now.
no, literally, like if you were unemployed, you like a vagrant, you could be imprisoned, and then like literally just like walking down the street, like where's your work papers? Like I don't have a job right now because unemployment's like 25%. Oh, well, fucking off to prison with you, off to the mine. So they did that. And they targeted.
Yeah, that was
usually people
everyone though.
They targeted majority like people of color. There's there's a really good video. I'll send it to you later. But moral of the story is like we fought for and that's part of our Constitution. All men are created equal. So we fought for freedom, for injustice, for all. Right. One nation under God. So we're one nation, many peoples, but still under that one flag, that one banner.
Right.
And those same virtues, ideally.
But I mean, I had to fight a lot to keep my shoes on my feet. Keep my bicycle. Because they thought I was an easy target because I was white.
Right.
Not saying that that's wrong or anything, because that's just the way that it is.
Yeah, you were all in the struggle.
I mean, it would be the same way if a black kid was in a white neighborhood. But
Exactly.
I experienced a lot of fucking racism because I was white in a black neighborhood. Like, a lot. Man, fuck you, white boy. Shit like that. Yeah, okay, I'm white. So what? What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah.
I can't. Fucking Irish as fuck, dude. I'm not going to get any darker.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Just like black people can't help that they're black. I mean, it is what it is. But I was retarded in the sense that I was never scared to fight for whatever,
Right. You got to present a hard target, though.
So they would jump me. I did okay, because I just grabbed one of them.
Right.
Like my dad told me, just get one of them and put them in the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, So then, I got beat up, though. They would, like, hit me in the back of the head and kicking me while I was killing their friend.
Right.
And, eventually when they started seeing that we bled the same, then, I'd be all beat up. I'm like, oh, you ready to go again? Yeah, I am. Are you? And then I started, cheating and using dirt and shit. So eventually they're like, man, that white boy's crazy, man. Leave that motherfucker alone, And then I became friends with him. And I talk how I talk now because of this. I grew up listening to, like, gangster rap in the hood with black people.
Right.
Saying the lyrics, and nobody gave a fuck because I had proved my whatever.
Commonality, right?
Yeah, my culture, and a lot of people now want to be like, oh, braids are cultural appropriation or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's a Dutch braid. It comes from the Dutch people. And it was a Viking braid. So you stole that from them,
Right.
I mean, everything's... You take culture from everything that you're influenced by. So...
Like white people, you got like white trash. Even
honky.
Honky. Even like redneck is like kind of fringe. It's more widely acceptable now. But again, it depends on the context that you're saying
This shit reminds me of Wild Wild West. What he's talking about. You guys got red, color of power. And he's like trying to get from getting hung, you know. And he's like, you have neck, you have red.
Yeah.
He couldn't think of nothing for red.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so when you say like that, you're speaking to like the lowest caste, the cultural, those who are, generally degenerates in that subtext of that specific culture. Same thing with like nigger or spick or wetback or chink. Like all of these words are usually used speaking to the lowest, non-productive, aggressive forms of that culture. And again, it is a blanket term. It is still stereotyping. It is still racist and offensive.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the easiest ultimate expression of distaste for that given subsect.
Right. And every race or whatever has some type of a slur against them. Italians, they call them wops.
Yeah, wops, guidos, like.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not just
fucking
American.
Yeah, no, it's not just an American thing. But this kind of brings me to a point: is there is no, when you're American and you go overseas somewhere, there's no black or white or nothing like that. You're an American,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the lowest term they're speaking to.
Literally, if you're a black American and you're over there, like this came from this rapper guy I was listening to, and he's like, I go overseas and he's like, they don't say that I'm an African American, they don't say that I'm black. I start talking and they're like, oh, the American,
Yeah.
That's it. That's all there is outside of America. So this like PC racist shit, because we talk about it all the fucking time, is an American thing.
Yeah.
You go outside of America, you're just an American. That's it. Don't matter where you are. Anywhere in America, you're an American. You go outside, you're an American, right? But, we have these fucking race problems because everybody keeps fucking talking about them. I mean, even Morgan Freeman, fucking greatest actors ever. He's a voiceover guy. He's fucking great. They were having a conversation about something, and he was talking about Black History Month. He's like, do you want a Black History Month? And he's like, no, I don't. And he's like, Black history is American history.
Right.
I kind of feel the same way, I actually got in trouble in school for asking, like, where's Chinese History Month, or where's, White History Month? And I had a black teacher.
Right.
I was in the ghetto. I was one of the only white kids in the class.
Yep.
Well, every day is White History Month. I'm like, really? How come we don't ever hear about it? And it wasn't to be a dick. It was legitimately like a question for my teacher. Like, well, I don't ever hear about that. Are we going to have that next week?
He said, go to the damn principal's office.
Go to the principal's office.
Yep.
Now I'm a racist. I'm like, what the fuck? I just wanted to know,
You broached the question.
And like,
no, I think that PC culture distilled to what like our basic respect, and I think that's what the ideal is. Obviously, it hasn't manifested exactly as that, but I think the core of it, the hope that PC culture starts to remove these differentiations, right? So any of these slang words, any of these factors of political alignment or cultural alignment that speak out, demeaning or negative about another, right? I think the hope is that the schisms start to mend, and if we keep advancing that narrative of this universal respect, like you said, we keep using these words because they're a part of that culture, right? This is inherited culture, and that's what they grew up with. That's what they propagate, and then they grew up with it, so they're going to regurgitate to their children. That's what's happening cyclically between it.
My dad was super racist. Come from Virginia, born in the 50s, you know. So that means he was like a kid in like 65, like developmental enough to understand things. So he grew up in Jim Crow. Like he was like, I think he was born in 53. So I'm not exactly sure how old he was or when it actually happened. It was like 64, 65-ish, 66 when that civil rights. So, you know, he was a kid in Jim Crow laws. So, I mean, he grew up in that shit. So, I mean, it ain't necessarily his fault, but, you know, you got to kind of break, like, I broke it, you know, I mean, my kids ain't racist. I don't teach racism, you know, and I don't even get along with white people most of the time. So, I go in the hood and, like, fit right the fuck in. I can go in any hood right now, even the way I look with fucking Viking hair and hugeness. You know, they're like, what's up, big man? What's up, baby? And, like, we have this whole ass conversation. I'm over here fucking delivering shit for this rich asshole. You know? And then we have, yeah, man, he is an asshole. And then we have this whole fucking conversation. Oh, slumdog millionaire motherfucker. Yeah. You know? I think America is kind of strangling itself with political correctness, you know? And they have been for a long fucking time. And, I mean, if you're a Christian, that's cool, dude, but not everybody is, you know? I mean, that's the First Amendment. You know, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We don't have to do what you want. That's like what America's about. Like, we don't have to do everything the same. You know, you think of like India or Iraq, how fucking brutal their shit is with religion over there. Like, they like stone you to death if you don't fucking pray at the right hour and you don't cover your face if you're a woman. America's a terrible place, though, according to everybody else.
Right.
You know?
I think the way around it is to not demonize our diversity, but to embrace it and celebrate it. And I think that's part of it. You move yourself through your life. Don't let other people move you.
Right. Immovable object.
Become the unstoppable force.
It's okay to not have an opinion. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be black or Chinese or Asian or Hispanic or Spanish or fucking Dutch or whatever, Russian. It's okay to be what you are.
Unless you're an asshole.
It's okay to be an asshole if you live in America. I mean, there's so many of them here, you know. It's okay to do that, you know. I mean, there will be consequences for being an asshole. Like, you can get fucking throat punched, kicked down in the street, you know. I mean, it still happens, but I think the fact that straight white men are, like, being so demonized, it's like, dude, we don't, the significant majority are not racist in America. Most people just want to be left alone to do what they want. You know, and you got fringe on left and right. And then those are the ones that get the most attention.
Yeah,
squeaky
wheel gets grease.
Basically, yeah. You know, they say the silent majority hasn't really spoke up because they haven't. Because most times they're just like, what are these fucking people doing? At the end of the day, we're all Americans, right? We're not black Americans or white Americans or Latin Americans. We're Americans. You know, one flag, fucking United States, fought the war to unite the states, end slavery, and then make it for everyone else all at the same time. So we're all slaves to the grind. Only in America. It's time to put some hustle behind this muscle, baby. On that note, cue the music.